All right. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Rick Trevino. I'm the office manager for the Palos Verdes Association of Realtors. And today I get the honor of introducing a friend, a fellow photographer and creator. Alan, he's got this great little angle with the business, and I'm gonna let Alan take over. So, Alan, thank you for joining us, and here we go.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much, Rick. My name is Alan Tong. I'm the co-founder of Listing Vision. We do real estate, a lot of real estate marketing. We build personal brands for realtors. We identify some gaps in the marketing side that happens as the industry develops and grows. Because it's so like digital, so AI focused now, there's a lot of new problems. With new opportunities comes a whole bunch of new problems. It's like we got to the next level in marketing. Next level, or what do they say? They say like uh, next level, new level, another devil, something like that. Another level, another devil. Anyway, I'm going to start a presentation real quick. And Rick, are you able to help me pin this once I get it up? We'll do a share. Okay. Oh, hey, Michelle. Welcome, Michelle. Welcome, Michelle. Are you able to see the presentation?
Yes, looks good.
Okay, great. Yeah, it's a little over past 10 a.m., so I'm going to go ahead and get started. So this is the invisible listing presentation. Wow, the whole presentation. This is about a situation. The context of it. It's about a situation when a prospect gets your name as an agent. They get your name, and then what goes through their mind, right? What happened was they then picked somebody else. So you were a referral. They got your name, and then they picked somebody else. Why would they do that? It's a huge issue. It's a huge issue right now. So before we go like super deep into this, I just want to start off with a poll. If you have your phone out, go ahead and scan your phone with your camera and scan the QR code. It'll take you to a link where you can vote for the poll. So I'm going to just leave it on the screen for a little bit, and I'm going to do it myself. So I scan the QR code, and it takes me to my browser where then I could then vote. So the question is, when a warm lead goes quiet, what do you usually assume happened? What went through the prospect's mind? Your options are: they were never serious, they chose another agent, they got busy and forgot, they looked me up and were not convinced, or at least the headshot is from this decade. What did they think of? They were never serious. Okay. Hey, it's good to know that this poll works. I love this. Okay. So the most common reply was they were never serious. Maybe sometimes they did choose another agent. Interesting. So here, let's keep going. Your listing presentation does not start at the kitchen table per se. We're going to dive right into this. It's going to spew this framework. This is a framework that's about trust, and it's about how a cold audience eventually reaches out to a real estate agent. They take footsteps towards the agent, and there's a threshold. It's called the trust threshold, where once they cross it, then they start responding to you. Then they're able to give out their information. This is my email information. This is my phone number. They become a lead when they give you the opportunity to contact them. But the cold audience needs to have ways to trust you. They take steps towards trust. And once they cross that threshold, they become open for communication with you. And then you start getting into DMs, they answer your calls, they give you their listings, they give you referrals, and they're willing to have appointments with you. But all that really happens only after they cross the trust threshold. So how do we get there? And is a referral enough to cross that? Sometimes, not always. Section 1. Section 1 is called oops, because it is the client that you never knew that you lost. The most painful opportunity is not the listing appointment that you lost per se. It is the listing appointment that you never got. So this is what actually happens. It's the invisible sequence that happens behind your back. The referral happens. They refer, they give the name. The prospect says, thank you. Thanks for the name. This is the real estate agent. The prospect then looks you up, compares you, and then they quietly decide whether to call you or not. This is not theoretical. And I'm sure everyone in the room, even myself, I've had a situation where a warm lead goes quiet and there's no useful explanation for it. So you were not rejected in the appointment, the listing appointment. You were filtered out before the appointment even existed. There's not enough trust built up. Section 2 is going to be the reframe. So the modern referral reality. And this is a necessary reframe. Because of referral in the past, it used to be a handoff. It used to be like, hey, let me introduce you to agent. But today it's more like an introduction to a background check, because we're talking about getting to that threshold of trust, right? So a referral gives borrowed trust from someone else who trusts you already. It gives borrowed trust, but the prospect still needs to verify whether you are current, credible, and relevant to them. So they choose, they just go online, they go on ChatGPT, they search your presence, they check your listing quality in the past. Did you sell at this price point before? Did they use their cell phone to take pictures? They use like listing quality. They take a look at what you've done in the past. And they see, are you still active? Because unfortunately, over 80%, it's like 87% of agents go out of the industry within 5 years. So are they still active? They're going to be checking these things. And like, if you're looking for the exact things that they might check, it might be your Google My Business. It might be the reviews on there. It's going to be your website, your agent website, your Zillow information. They're going to check your Instagram. Okay. They check all these things because they're checking to see if you feel like a safe call. The referral, it gets you considered, but it's that presence that gets you actually contacted. And a lot of the clients that I work with, a lot of agents, they're going to say, but my business is 100% referral based, especially if they're been in the game for 10 to 15 years. They already have their book of business. And it's like parents are referring their kids to their realtor, that sort of thing. But my business is 100% referral based. But that's exactly why this matters, because referrals, they still get verified. All right. And this is the mistake, that agents are hiding their best asset. Most agents, they're showing awards. They're doing what their brokerage told them to. They're showing their brokerage logos. They're showing sold graphics. The graphic on this, I know it's a little bit, it's on purpose that everything's off by a little bit. But they show their sold graphics, their slogans, their market stats, and generic service claims. Those are not necessarily bad that you show these things, but they rarely show the client, they rarely show the thing that the client needs the most, and that is how the agent thinks. Because your value is not that you have access to the MLS. Your value is your judgment. And coaches online, everyone's going to be telling you that you need to post more. Kind of, but not really. So you don't really need to hear post more. You have to start trying to prove more and prove more in public. So here's another poll. Hey, we're back to polls. What do agents post when they have no idea what to say? I'm talking about online. What do they post when they have no idea what to say? And if you go to your phone, it should be the same link. We'll still take you there. The options are just sold graphics, market stats with no opinion, the honored and humbled award posts. You got a photo of keys, because apparently keys sell houses. If you guys have been on Instagram for even just a little bit, I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. A Canva template fighting for its life is 50-50 with just sold graphics. That's so funny. I love your answers, guys. Oh my goodness. And who hasn't tried Canva? Etsy has so many like really pretty ones. I know. Canva templates, wonderful thing. Hey, next section, the 5 proofs. These are 5 proofs and what clients are actually verifying. Ready for section 4? All right. So clients are not just looking for activity. They're trying to verify 5 things. That is judgment, your judgment, your process, your local intelligence, your values, and your results. We're going to dive right into the first one, which is going to be judgment. What goes through the client's mind, what they're thinking of, their psychology is, can this person think clearly when the stakes are high? Because this is like their life investment, one of the biggest investments that they're making. They're either selling, buying real estate. For most folks, that is a gigantic investment to them. And they need to trust your judgment when the stakes are high. How do you think about offers, inspection issues, timing, negotiation, risk? All these things are important to the client when the stakes are very high. Some examples for content that you might want to put out there would be like why the highest list price, I'm talking about for like a home seller, is not always the strongest strategy. Or like what I look for before recommending a price reduction. So clients do not just want an agent with opinions, they want to see your judgment. Next is going to be the proof of process. So what goes through the client's mind is there a method behind their service, behind their realtor service? Because every agent kind of has their own method. Every team has their own special way of doing things. Everyone says they got white glove service, and very few actually show the process publicly. I mean, just take a look at this AI image here. We have like hundreds of agents. Give some AI some credit. Love it. White glove service. Some examples of this showing your process might be like having a seller's prep checklist, buyer's offer prep, the first 72 hours, what happens after the launch, your escrow communication rhythm. These are just some examples. Obviously, make it accessible and understandable to the general public. And I know that some agents right now and some teams, they hide it. They hide their listing presentation. They're like, this is proprietary. This is the only thing that I can see. But I don't think it's wise to just hold it to yourself, because not only and they do it because they don't want their competition to copy them. Like, hey, I don't want everyone to copy what I do. But that might be the downside, but what's the upside? The downside is also like the general public cannot see what you're worth. They don't get to see what you actually do in your process. And that's a big downside to it. So you really should be sharing everything you've got. Make it public. Run ads to it if you have to. Let people know that this is what you're capable of. Process creates safety. If clients cannot see your process, then they got to guess. And that's a little bit scary. Next is going to be the proof of your local intelligence. Proof of local intelligence. So the client, what they're thinking in their head is, do you understand what Zillow cannot tell me? By the way, if this image is a little bit wild, it's because I recently had a conversation with one of the leadership inside the Ed Kaminsky team. They were talking about Zillow and how 40% of they're taking gigantic splits. Zillow's a monster right now. Let's get back onto it. So specific local nuance is going to beat market reports. That means you know street by street differences. And if you're doing business in PV, yes, know the street by street differences, the school boundary confusion, ocean view premiums, like insurance issues, HOA concerns, buyer behavior by different price points. Which part of the hill's falling into the ocean? Okay, maybe not that extreme, but like why two homes of the same square footage can sell differently? Or what buyers misunderstand about hillside homes? Maybe those are some things that you could talk about. So a market report gives information, but the local intelligence, that is what gives interpretation of that information. All right, let's move on. We got proof of values. The client, they might be thinking, what kind of advisor are you? Because clients, they choose temperament. They're emotional too when they choose what kind of person they work with. They don't just choose competence. They choose temperament and not just competence. So that is, are you a calm or an aggressive person? Are you blunt? Are you diplomatic? Are you productive versus promotional? So some examples that might show this to the audience is going to be like, hey, when I tell sellers not to take the highest offer, it's because of X, Y, and Z. By giving that kind of information out means you're showing your values, or why I would rather lose a deal than pressure the client the wrong way. Values, how you show your values. Values create fit, and the fit creates trust. Finally, show your results and make this like super public. You gotta, if you're not posting this stuff, it's gotta be posted because the client's gonna ask themselves, can this person actually create outcomes? They might like you, but can you actually get them to their desired state, the outcome that they want? And that means not just posting sold over asking. I mean, agents are going to be posting sold over asking all day, every day for the next century. But instead, here's an alternative. Use these 5 steps. Situation, post the situation, the challenge, the strategy, the results, and the lesson. And those 5 pieces become a story. The situation is going to be the context of the issue that you solved, the context of the proof that you're trying to give out, the situation. The challenge is the dragon that you slayed. The strategy is how you slayed that dragon. What did you do to get over asking? The result is to announce that, yes, I got over asking. And the lesson. The lesson is probably one of the more important parts of this storytelling. And it's because the prospect is then going to put themselves in your previous client's shoes. And what they think is, if they could get that result for the previous client, maybe they can get that result for me. Result stories show your decision making. And it's not just numbers because it gives people a story behind your proof. People are romantics. People, they remember stories. So just remember that numbers impress people, but stories help them actually trust you. Okay. Hopefully we're not moving like super too fast, but let's go on to section 5, which is going to be the trust audit. If they look you up right now, what do they see? Imagine a referred client spends just 5 minutes looking you up. What would they know? Can a stranger tell what kind of clients you help most? Can they see how you think and not just what you sell? Can they understand your process before meeting you? Can they tell you know the local market just beyond the surface level stats? Like beyond what your brokerage is telling you to feed everybody? Can they see proof of results through stories and not just claims? Claims as in over asking, stories as in this is the process of how things happened. If your value only becomes clear after somebody meets you, your marketing is making the client do way too much work. I'll say that one more time. So if your value only becomes clear after someone meets you, then your marketing is making the client do too much work. Your marketing should be doing that job. So here's what to create instead. This is the tactical side, okay? This is what actually to do. And there's a million things to do. There's a million ways to win in real estate. This is just my perspective as a digital marketer, someone who's run a digital marketing agency inside the real estate industry for lots of years. My perspective, again, there's other ways that can win. This is my way of winning. You do not need more content per se. You just need more evidence. You're trying to push people with trust. You're trying to force trust so that they get past that threshold. Past the threshold is when they then respond to you. They then reach out. Okay, the actual stuff that actually builds trust. Whoa, wall of text inside the presentation. Don't get turned off. Let's just go ahead and dive right in. First, go ahead and put in point of view post. That's short explanations of what you believe. That could be about pricing, timing, negotiation, preparation, client protection. All of these things, there's like a million things to talk about when it comes to pricing, timing, negotiation, preparations, client protection. And all these things are going to show your point of view, your judgment. Okay. Next is your process breakdown. Simple explanations of how you guide people through decisions and reduce uncertainty. When I say simple explanations, I mean super simple. I mean Eli 550. If you're not sure, that's a super deep marketing term that just means ELI, explain it like I'm 5. You give an explanation like to a 5-year-old. Eli 5 and 50 is if you walk down the street, there's 100 people. At least 50 of the people should understand immediately, like that, what your explanation is. If you can explain how you sell real estate to a 5-year-old and 50% of 100 people that you walk past down the street, they'll understand immediately, then I think you've done it the right way. So break down your process, Eli 550, post about that. Next is going to be your local intelligence pieces. These are neighborhood-specific observations that prove beyond just the stats. As a realtor, you've got to show your expertise. It's kind of a prerequisite. But a lot of these realtors that I know, especially the ones that are longtime known inside each neighborhood. They're like the go-tos. A lot of the information's inside their heads. It's inside scattered stories. It's inside that they share. It's inside the private conversations that they have with their clients, but it's never shown publicly. And I think that's doing a big disservice to themselves and how they can start earning new business. So a trend that I'm seeing is like a lot of the longer standing realtors, they're getting more afraid because they're shying away from being online. At the same time, these younger realtors are going in with less experience and claiming a piece of the pie that maybe they didn't deserve. They don't have as much experience, is what I'm trying to say. So yes, your local knowledge intelligence, you got to prove that you know the local neighborhoods. Your client situation stories. You can change the names if you want. Just make sure it's privacy safe case studies that protects your client. You're not like sharing things that you shouldn't share. Privacy safe case studies that show situation, challenge, strategy, results, and lesson. Those are the 5 things again. They popped up again. These are the stories. This is the best way to share storytelling, to share proof, because that's one of the things that build trust. And finally, value-based post, values-based posts. It's content that shows how you operate and which clients are best suited to serve. Because remember, value creates fit and fit creates trust. And it goes like that. If this person is like me, well, if you're like really arrogant, you're gonna attract arrogant folks. If you are Christian, you might attract fellow Christians. It's a thing. It's totally a thing. When values create fit and fit creates trust, and that speeds speeds people towards that trust threshold. I mean, it's just how you work. It's how human behavior. Section 7 is the resistance. So, are you saying that I got a post, Alan? Yeah. So in this one, I'm going to handle social media hesitation. Let's pop right into another poll. This is going to be the last poll of this this presentation. When you hear you should post more, what's your honest reaction? What's your honest reaction? When I say you need to post more, I'm going to say Instagram because that's my area of expertise. What's your honest reaction? I know. I do not have time. I hate being on camera. I don't want to look like an influencer. I have a face for referrals and not reels. Oh my God. Let's see what the answers as they trickle in. I know that's so funny. I mean, Tom Ferry's been preaching this for like 10 years. I know. I hate being on camera. So when I was running advertising for my company, one of the biggest responses was that agents just hate being on camera. I'm like, okay. I have a face for referrals and not referrals. I think we're our own worst critics. Everyone's beautiful in their own way. I do not have time. I do not want to look like an influencer. Okay. Well, thank you. This is all very insightful. All right. Part of section 7 is going to be the verification points. This is not the whole point of this. It's not for you to become TikTok or Instagram famous. That is not the point of this. This is about becoming easier to trust when somebody checks you online. For agents who hate social media, you do not need to be everywhere, but you just have to be wherever people check you. And you need to look current, credible, and clear. And some of those verification points, it might be like your Google business profile, your personal website, your brokerage bio, your Zillow bio, your Zillow reviews, your Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, your YouTube. Places where people are going to verify that you exist, that you're doing a good job. Remember, social media is not going to be the strategy. That is not the strategy. Trust, getting them past trust, the trust threshold, that is going to be the strategy. Social media is just one place where trust gets verified. And here's a silent killer. It's a silent killer that just crushes so many agents' businesses online. And that is looking interchangeable. Because most agents, their language sounds the same. I'm a trusted advisor. I'm a local expert. I'm client first, full service. I've got integrity. I'm results driven. And it's not that those claims are wrong. They're just like super uber forgettable. So what do you just ask yourself? This is how you differentiate yourself. Just ask yourself, what do you notice that other agents miss? That's a differentiator. What decisions do you help clients avoid? What situations are you specifically unusually good at? What do clients thank you for after closing? So all of these answers, they're going to be your differentiators, and that differentiated answer needs to be made public. Because if your marketing could belong to any agent, it is not really marketing you. All right, we're closing in on the conclusion here. If you're on your phone this whole time, here are the core truths to remember. This is the TLDR. TLDR stands for too long, didn't read. Let's go through these. Too long, didn't read. The referral gets you considered, but your presence gets you contacted. Your listing presentation starts before the appointment. Clients are not just checking if you are successful, they're checking if you are safe to trust. You don't need more content, you need more evidence. If your expertise only shows up in person, you're making prospects take a meeting before they understand your value. The danger is not being bad, the danger is looking interchangeable. You don't have to be afraid of looking bad, guys. The referral is the finish line. The referral is not the finish line. When someone refers you, it's the beginning of a background check. Post more on social media ain't the strategy. Trust is the strategy. You're not losing to better agents, you're losing to clearer agents. So your next listing appointment may already be happening without you in the room. Remember, cold audiences, bringing them there. And with the clients that I currently am working with, I'm prepping this for them next week. And you might as well hop on it as well. I'm going through all my clients, like their Instagram bios again. I'm going to go through everyone's, because they change them over time. And it's like, why did you change it? Or I'm going to be reviewing everyone's profiles again, make sure everything's aligned, their bio. I'm going to be identifying specific trust gaps that are costing them listings, that are breaking that flow of trust building. And then I'm going to give them a couple of tailored changes, one by one, feed them in so that they can become the obvious choice online. So if you want that, you want 15 minutes of horrible naming. This is the Invisible Listing Trust Audit. If you want that, it's 15 minutes. I'll review your IG and I'll show you the 3 fastest trust fixes before your next listing appointment. I'll go over your bio, and then I'll identify everything. So this whole lesson, this presentation, follow me on Instagram. Just DM me for the slides. I'll send you the slides, and just DM me if you want to book your audit as well. And I guess I'll open up the floor to questions. Let's take some questions.
Great presentation, Alan. Yeah, so what questions do we have today? And you can unmute yourself. Let me see if there's nothing in the chat right now.
Yeah, feel free to type in the chat, or you can ask it audibly. I got my headphones on.
I guess one question that pops up for me is, how
Sure.
often are realtors posting to be effective?
How often are realtors posting for it to be effective? This is a very interesting answer. So, question, because I have a wild answer for this. Every platform on social media has different. You can spam on a platform and frustrate everybody, frustrate your audience, frustrate everyone. They're going to unfollow you because you posted 50 times on Instagram in one day. You can't do that. Every platform has their ideal posting cadence. So for example, if it's IG, if it's Instagram, you can post 2 to 3 times a day. Fine. TikTok is like the Wild West. Post as many times as you want. It doesn't matter. But if you do have all the content, you went through the trouble of making a bunch of content pieces, and you want to distribute it on Instagram anyway, go ahead and post 3 per account. Do like Alan Tong Realtor, do Alan Tong Palos Verdes, Alan Tong South Bay. Create a bunch of different accounts and post 50 times. Go ahead and do that. But just remember, each platform is going to have its own specific limit before it annoys people, before they stop pushing your content. Okay, and let's say it is the type of news that you bring, or the type of content that you're bringing too. If it is news about PV, for example, well, if it's going to be local news, people expect news at a higher frequency than they expect something like cinematic, like the cinematic property tour, whatever it's going to be. They might expect that once in a while from you, but news, they want updates every single day, every single morning. So I guess that's how I would approach it. It's going to be what you actually deliver, and per platform, where are they limiting you, and how can you adjust your output so that it fits within those guide rails.
Okay. All right. And we have a question from Jack. So how do I find out where people are seeing me?
Oh, interesting. This is okay. Hey, Jack. Actually, I do work with Jack. Jack gave me a wonderful idea about like floor plans the other day, and I made a video about it. I've yet to put it out. Anyway, so hey, good morning, Jack. How do I find out where people are seeing me? This is there's two parts. I would answer this in two ways. The first way is going to be you can force it. You can force it by running advertisements. So advertisement is a very clear cut way to say, if people basically, if you did not get an ROI out of it, that's where people are not looking. That's not where your audience is. And inside your advertisement, you can call out specific audiences, specific niches. And if you're able to do that, then they'll respond in a certain way. When it comes to real estate and ads, this is a whole nother topic, but I think it's worth mentioning. There's some limitations. You can't be discriminatory to, different. That's why you can't exactly like where do they find me? You can't be like, this zip code resonates with me. This zip code resonates with me. It's not like that. It's more like a 10-mile radius. So you'll be able to find out like, okay, I guess the beach people like me. I guess the mountain people are listening to what I'm saying. I guess the hillside people are listening to them. So you can do it in that way. If the question is more like, how do I find out where people are seeing me online? Okay. Now that's a whole nother thing to explore, because honestly, we can go into like an AI research. We can use Gemini to research, for example. Have them do a deep research and look up different demographics, different age groups, and which platforms they're actually on, and then which platforms their kids are on, because they might have adult kids. Because everyone needs a place to live, and real estate's a great way to help those folks. As a new agent, oh, sorry, I got another question. Is it okay? Let's dive right into it from Jack.
Oh, yes.
Okay, as a new agent, what's the better approach on the proof side, since no review, testimonials, or me? Okay, if it's a new agent, got it. New agent, I know there's common advice out there is to use your team's numbers. Hey, we're top producers. And then it's like, hey, my brokerage is top 100 in the whatever. So that's, I mean, it's not lying per se, but it is definitely not authentic in showing that in that you are who you are. Like, people are going to come up with a different expectation. It's like walking into a listing and like seeing virtually staged photos, and you walk in there super disappointed because that's not what was advertised. How I would approach this, proof is different for those with and without experience. If you do not have experience, you have to show your journey. You have to show the authenticity side of it. Hey, I am working with X amount of clients, and then you can have a positive and a negative, a pros and a cons. Like, if you work with a huge team, you're just a number. If you work with me, I give you my entire schedule to make sure you get the result that you're looking for. So that differentiation, you get to show off who you are, and who you're. I mean, you get to show something that someone who's seasoned cannot show. That's going to be your side of proof, is showing your journey, showing the advantages of working with someone fully dedicated. Oh, I just saw. Interesting. I. Okay, wonderful. Are there any other questions? I'll be here for quite a bit, so I have probably until 11, until my next schedule. So I'm until my next appointment. So I'm actually okay for quite a bit. We're at a point of it's or forever hold your peace. Hey, you know what? You can even ask like unhinged questions. I don't mind. Go for it. Whatever happens in this Zoomy stays in this Zoomy. Oh, I take that back. Rick has this recorded, so he's going to post it on like YouTube. Okay, guys, then I think, oh, can you help me get an AI to recommend me when someone is asking chat for an agent? Can you help me get AI to recommend me when someone is asking chat? Oh, ChatGPT, chat. Oh, okay, okay. The latest on ChatGPT right now, and if you're looking for cheap ads right now, so ChatGPT is becoming like its own search engine right now. Yes, so they start like optimizing SEO for AIs instead of optimizing SEO for Google, which used to be the standard. And it's still kind of the standard, but yes, for AIs and AI platforms. So optimizing for that, I'm not 100% an expert on that, I'll be honest. But from what I do know, I can share from what I do know. Excuse me. Okay, to become a recommendation for chat. So first thing is, it is context related. If the person that is going on these AI platforms have chatted with the AI enough, then hopefully the AI is going to know their location. From there, AI is smart enough to then do a quick search and understand who's a local expert. Right now, I find AI's answers not 1,000% like trustworthy, but to the person who's not doing much discernment, they're just going to look at it and be like, oh yeah, that's a great person to go with. Let's just listen to what the AI says, because the AI apparently did the heavy lifting for me. And to get on that list, yes, you can optimize for it. You could show your location in as many places as you can in all of your content. Do your best with optimizing for ChatGPT. But honestly, right now, the pricing for actually becoming an ad on ChatGPT platform is really low. Just like when Facebook launched their ads, the price for ads were really low. It was really low per CPC. Same when, when Vine used to be a thing, when Snapchat introduced their ads, when YouTube started doing their ads. In the very beginning, everything was super cheap because they wanted people to advertise on their platform. ChatGPT is offering that right now. So if you want to run ads with ChatGPT, totally recommend that for right now until the prices start getting unreasonable. Cheap leads, might as well go for it. At least cheap leads using AI.
Any other questions for Alan? I don't see anything else. The one thing, oh, okay, we got another one from Jack. If I help other
Sweet.
agents for their open house, how should I properly do my posting on social media?
Okay, this goes a little bit into the whole like advertising guidelines for real estate, right? It goes into like you have to, if they're exclusively listing this one, then I don't know if the brokerage is happy with you posting it. You obviously you can't share it as your listing. That is one thing. But I can't talk to that because I'm not a realtor. I'm a marketer. What I try to do is I try to see the marketing aspect of real estate agents and the industry itself, so I can give my perspective through that lens. If you help other people with their open houses, I mean, go at it, go hard with it. How should you properly be posting that on social media? Show that you're working. If you are in a place where you're having your open houses, you don't have a team to do open houses for you, that's part of your journey. You should show that you are working, showing you actually doing the work. That is part of the journey that you should show that builds proof. Okay, that's one part of it. Yes, the house, if the house is staged, if the house is beautiful and immaculate, get as much content as you can inside of there. I know it's like open houses are supposed to help you buy a finder lead, find a buyer lead and try to help sell that house. But honestly, if you are inside that property and they spent the money to stage it, you might as well milk it. You might as well get content of you inside of that beautiful house, because all of your content should show you inside of the desired state of your audience. So if your audience desires to be in a home, you should show yourself in a home instead of, at the beach every single time you record. Show yourself in the background of the context of the desired result of your client. If that's a whole bunch of different homes that are staged really nicely, you should probably grab as many angles as you can. Properly do your posting on social media. Yeah. Repurpose. Oh, hopefully that answered the question enough. But what are your thoughts on apps such as Repurpose AI? Can you briefly share what the Repurpose AI is? I think I know what it is. I have an idea. I've got a feeling that it's like taking one piece of content and, waterfalling it to different platforms. But can you just clarify
that's
really?
what it is.
Okay, great. I love repurposing content because it's a big lever that you can pull. You don't have to do it through Repurpose AI. You could do it however you want. And I don't like pushing bad content though. So with that said, there's two ways to go about it. You can do long form content and cut that into short form content. Oh, I just realized, Jack. That's not Jack. It says Jack's name, but that's so funny. Anyway, so long form content. You can take long form content and chuck it into, and you can chuck it into smaller form pieces, right? Sure, you could do that. Each one of those small form content, short form content pieces can then be posted on like TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and then whichever ones perform the best, you can turn them into blog posts. You can turn 3 short form contents that worked really well, got good results, combine those 3 into a blog post and send that to your newsletter. There's like different ways that you could repurpose and waterfall content. That's one way. So that's from long form content trickle down into short form content. The other way to do this is to go the opposite direction. You go from something like Twitter, like tweets, text, literally text your thoughts throughout the day. The best performing tweets turn into short form videos. The short form videos, the ones that perform the best, then get stacked back to back and become a long form video. So it goes the opposite direction. And all of it goes with proven concepts because you're looking at the metrics of content that actually worked. And if you do that, that long form piece of content turns into a blog, turns into email newsletter, and all of it comes from your daily thoughts that you just jotted down through your phone through Twitter. You can go that route. You could go the opposite route. I've seen creators find success both ways. It's a lot of labor though. I mean, Repurpose AI might be able to pull it off. I don't know. I haven't really tried it out yet.
All right, and it looks like we are clear on the questions. So, any more questions for Alan before we go today?
Wonderful. I love it. I haven't done a lesson in like 5 years. So I appreciate you guys for your grace I might have been talking a bit too much. I got a big mouth. But I'm going to make today a great day and I hope you guys will as well. I'm looking out my window right now. It's gloomy. I'm going to still make it a great day. So take care, everybody. Thank you so much, PVPAR. Thank you, Rick.
All right. Thank you, Alan.
I'll have
Thank
to
you,
catch you
everybody.
guys next
And
time.
we'll see you next time. All right. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.